How did they feel about the consolidation of power of JD Vance?
Well, I'm sure if they're thinking about running, they realize that he's the biggest threat to them. I can tell you there's just a lot of awe for him in the Senate, which is not something that I would have said a year ago. I will say when he was chosen to be Trump's running mate, I heard a lot of grumbling from Republicans
Yeah.
in the Senate. They don't like him. They thought he was this young whippersnapper who knew everything and couldn't be told what to do and just didn't understand various priorities that are important to the Republican Party. I mean, he's a populist Republican, very different than a lot of those
Yeah.
guys. But they have come to see him as like a really important, sort of go-between with them and the White House. You go back to the nominations, and you can actually see nominations for Trump's cabinet when they were trying to get people confirmed. You can see JD playing this really critical role, sort of turning a lever on the outside pressure, sort of the influencers and the folks on social media in the MAGA world, turning the pressure up when he needed it up on a certain senator to get them in line, and actually dialing it way down when that senator's vote was in jeopardy and pressure would have the adverse effect.
With a lot of sophistication, right?
Very much so. You can tell he has relationships with people like Charlie Kirk and, obviously Elon before. But there's a lot of these like social media influencers. And my understanding was that his camp has very much been in touch with them to try to, use their voices in a way that benefits the president and helps him get what he wants in the Senate. So I think, his power in the party is really unquestioned. I would be shocked if you see some of these Senate Republicans actually run against him, at least in this point. It's early, right? We'll see, if things go very south for President Trump and, JD Vance is dragged down just along with him, that would be a very different calculus for some of these Senate Republicans. But I don't think there's any question that his standing in the party right now is significant. And a lot of people have a lot of respect for that.